Yes, sir, ladies and gentlemen, we are back around the water cooler. It is the start of a new week. Yes, we appreciate y'all so much for rocking with us here around the water cooler tonight, man. We gonna go into the MCU. Y'all know, if y'all know me, I know I'm a Marvel fan. We're gonna go into the MCU tonight, man. We're gonna try to capture these Infinity Stones, man. Let's go ahead, let's get into it. Eugene Asante.
Boys and girls of all ages, you're tuned into the Water Cooler Talk podcast, the biggest podcast in the world. Yeah.
You are now tuned in to Water Cooler Talks, covering everything you love about college football, especially everything going down in the SEC conference. So, if you love college football, you need to lock in. And now, your hosts, Nick Frazier and Marcus Fitzpatrick.
Hello, and welcome back to Water Cooler Talk podcast, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Nick Frazier. And the other person you hear him, I see him. Tell them who you are, boss man.
Marcus Fitzpatrick. Let's go. Let's get it.
Yes. Thank y'all so much for rocking with us here around the water cooler, as always. And of course, tonight, we got our guy from at It's SE Season. I think I said it
right. You're getting better.
Yeah, you're getting better. Auburn Tez, ladies and gentlemen. Tez, how you feeling, man? How you feeling?
Man, I'm pretty good. How about y'all, man?
Doing great, man. Doing great. Can't complain, man. Can't complain, man. We appreciate y'all, man. How y'all doing all right tonight? Can't complain. You know, it is what it is. You know, just trying to make it do what it do. Y'all doing okay?
Pretty good, man.
That's good.
Can't complain.
That's good. You know, we're just trying to make it through. It's a new week. It's a great week. It's gonna be a great week.
Yeah.
It's another great week to talk about some Auburn sports and some SEC sports and some recruiting and sports in general, man. We thank y'all so much for rocking with us here around the water cooler, man. Before we get into it, man, make sure you follow us on Facebook at the Water Cooler Talk Podcast. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok at the Water Cooler Talk. On Twitter, follow us on Twitter at CoolestPod23. Follow us on Twitter at CoolestPod23. Follow us on Twitter at CoolestPod23. And of course, subscribe, like, share, and hit the notification bell button here on YouTube. So you know when we post more videos and go live, because we are on the way to 700 subscribers, man. Got a notification that apparently YouTube is automatically unsubscribing people. So please go out and check. If you've watched this in the past and you haven't been getting the notifications or anything like that, please make sure that you're subscribed, because we just want to make sure that's happening, because saw some people that said they got automatically unsubscribed and they had to subscribe back. So we appreciate y'all for checking that out for us, man. To continue to rock with us here around the Water Cooler Talk, man. And of course, make sure y'all go over to at It's SE Season. I'm gonna get it right on YouTube, man. We trying to get our guy Tez to 50 subscribers. Tez, where you at right now, Tez? 23?
Last time it was 23.
23.
Yeah.
I remember you saying that. So
we got content coming any day now.
Content coming soon. So make sure y'all subscribe on the YouTube channel. Subscribe to Tez's YouTube channel over there as well, man. Let's get in the chat here, man, and let's see what's going on, man. We appreciate y'all, man. Auburn Dad is in here, man. Shout out to Auburn Dad. War Eagle to Auburn Dad. How you feeling, my guy?
How you?
Gregory Lawrence, what's up, my man? How you feeling? He said Auburn politics on the air, live like Musburger. Yeah, you know we live. We live here. You know, Water Cooler Talk is live. We may do some pre-recorded stuff, but most of the time when you come around the Water Cooler, we live. We are live.
Yeah.
You know, that's what we do, man. We give you a real rap raw right now. In the words of Chocolate Dropper. The Huggy Beard himself, man. Shout out to the Huggy Beard, the legend of Sweet Sugarback Williams. C Hall. What's up, C? How you feeling, man? You doing all right today, man? Hope everything going good. Auburn Dad letting us know. Nick Marcus Tez, what's up, man? How you feeling, man? The Huggy Beard said, what's happening, Jimmy? Nah, it's all good, man. We chilling, man. We chilling. Can't complain, man. He said YouTube trying to keep the cubes down. Hello. Nah, we trying to keep them up. We trying to keep them up. Please make sure, man. We trying to get to 700. We trying to get to 700 soon. We trying to get to 700 subscribers soon. So please make sure you hit the subscribe button. JT said, I apologize for not providing a quote. My daughter have been in the hospital with my daughter and unable to look. You good, man. You good, man? Got to
Oh
take care of
man,
the fam, man. Got to take care of the fam.
hope everything's all right.
Exactly. Hope
Exactly.
everything's going
That
good with
part.
him, man. Hope everything's going good.
You know what, JT? I got you. I'll fill in for you today. I got one.
Yeah. So Ted's got a quote.
Yeah, your daughter JT,
Got
man.
you.
Prayers
got
with you and your family.
We got
Yeah,
you, man. I hope everything's okay.
Yeah,
Lil Huggy.
What up, Lil Huggy? How you doing, man?
What's up, Lil Hug?
Lil Huggy. That's what I'm talking about. Where damn Auburn fam. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about, Greg. I like that, man. I like that. Prayers to JT, of course. Prayers to JT. All right, man. Ted said he has a quote today.
I got one.
I can't play the intro because it's not JT's. So
Okay, that's
Ted,
cool.
what's your quote? What's your quote today, Ted?
Can I get like a drum roll?
Right. I got something for you. Here you go. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for Tez's quote of the day. Quote of the day.
I like it. So today I'm gonna fill in for JT and I'm gonna go with something that I try to live by, and that is tradition is just peer pressure from dead people. Think about it.
I actually like that. Wait a minute. I actually like that.
Source unknown.
Tradition is just peer pressure from dead people.
Yes.
I kind of like that a little bit. I ain't even gonna lie.
That's the only quote I have now.
I actually kind of like that. That's interesting. That's interesting. JT said, "Thank y'all, man. Just finished the first surgery, man. Man, we praying for you, man. Hope everything's going well. Let her get through that safely, and hope that recovery is very rapid, man. Look who's in the chat, Jay Flowers, Mr. Light Skin himself. What's up, Jay? How you feeling, man? You doing all right, Jay? Hope Jay doing good. Yes, sir. Tez, we got each other. Yes, sir. They said, shout out Tez for the quote. Shout out Tez, man. Hey, Tez, they said quote 5. They said the quote was 5. They said the quote was 5. That's what I'm talking about, man. Yeah, man.
That's the only one I got.
Yeah, man. Prayers to JT, man. Prayers to JT. He said, so I'm gonna head out for the night. Have a good night. All right, JT, man. We understand.
All right, man.
Be easy, man. Y'all be safe out there, man. Be safe. All right, man. So let's get into it, man. I know looking at the title and looking at the thumbnail of this show, I know a lot of y'all were probably, I don't know if y'all were confused or if y'all were kind of interested or if y'all was like, what is going on in this dude Nick head? What is he talking about? You know? So basically, what this week, I don't know y'all if y'all remember, we did a series of shows for a week back in January. And those shows were called What If. So the What If series was basically off, excuse me, was based off the What If series from the Marvel Universe. If you know, I'm a Marvel fan. I enjoy Marvel movies. I enjoy the MCU. And so basically we did a whole series of like what if. So we basically took that what if concept and basically brought it here and was like, what if Deuce Knight was the starting quarterback? What if he was QB1? What if Auburn hired a different coach? You know, we did all those topics. So this week, we're going right back to the MCU. So we're talking about these Infinity Stones, man. So if you are a fan of Marvel like me, you know that the whole phase 3, phase 4 was probably where it kind of phase 2, phase 3 was kind of where it kind of like got the hype. So when you started seeing, you know, Iron Man, Captain America, the first Avenger, you started seeing the Avengers, and then we was introduced to Thanos, and we started hearing about the Infinity Stones and how if one person can wield the power of the Infinity Stones, they can do whatever they kind of want to do. They can have whatever they want. So this is what we're going to do this week. This week, the week of shows this week are going to be based around those 6 Infinity Stones. Tonight, we're focusing on 2 of them. And then the rest of the week, we're going to focus on 1. But around those Infinity Stones, the Infinity Stones are the Space Stone, the Reality Stone, the Power Stone, the Mind Stone, the Time Stone, and the Soul Stone. So this week, we are going to tailor the question to Auburn football around those specific topics. So tonight's topics are about space and time. Now, I want to read something really, really quick, if I can find it, because I kind of lost it a little bit. before we came on. And it will help us understand what each stone mean. So we can have a better understanding of why we are having this conversation and how we're going to tie it into Auburn football. So excuse me, man. I lost it before I got on. So bear with me.
I feel like you went on the pastor to find the scripture at church.
You are. You kind of are.
He lost the scripture at church. Well,
you really kind of are. Journey with me. If you have your weapon. If you have your
yesterday I went to go get some tea. That's irrelevant, but just help me get here. Just
if you have your weapon, which is your
time to get here.
If you have your weapon, which is your Bible, journey with me to the Apostle Paul. You know, we're gonna journey and we're gonna take a look at what Paul's letter said to the Church of Corinth. You know, I'm just man. All right, man. Let's go ahead and get into it. Okay. Oh, shout out! We got some people jumping in, man. James Barnett, he's saying prayers to JT. Shout out to Auburn Dad. He said, "Water cooler, what's good, fellas? What's good with you, James? I hope you're doing well, man. Hope you're doing all right. What's up, Connie? How you feeling, Connie? You doing all right, Connie? Yeah. That's what's up, man. How you feeling? All right. So tonight we're talking about the Space Stone and we're talking about the Time Stone. So the Space Stone is blue, and its ability is to create portals to teleport. The Time Stone tonight is to control and manipulate time, and it's green. All right. So wait a minute.
I know, right? I can hold it, bro.
Oh man. I see you, man. I see you. I see you, man. I see you, bro. That
hilarious.
That was funny. That was good. That was good. All right. So basically, now that you know what those mean, and then once we get to the next one each day of the week, we're gonna talk about it. We'll give you the reason behind it. Tonight's questions. We got 2 questions, and we're gonna start with the first one. And we're gonna talk about in this part of the show, we're going to talk about the space part of it. And so the question that I want to hear from you all tonight, and I want to get y'all thoughts on is, where does Auburn football fit in the current space of college football, in the college football landscape? Where do you see Auburn football fitting at right now at this point in time? Are we behind? Are we on par? Are we ahead? Are we in the upper echelon of elites? Are we down in the boiler room? Are we boo-boo? What is your perception? And this is for the chat as well, because you know we always incorporate the chat. What is your perception of the space where Auburn football sits right now in the landscape of college football? And I'm gonna start with you, Marcus. Thank you.
I like where we sit right now. I think we're ahead of schedule, especially recruiting wise. I think we are right on time right there. It's time for us to start showing it on the field at this point. Because I think our name, the Auburn name is starting to pop out, especially now in this NIL era. I think that's the reason why we are gathering big recruits, but now it's time for us to show the product on the field. So I say right now we're ahead of schedule.
Okay, so ahead of schedule. So I'm gonna push back on you a little bit. So even though we were 5-7 last year, 6-7 the year before, and we're on the verge of if this season goes bad, we're on the verge of not having a winning season in 5 years. You think we're ahead of schedule?
So recruiting wise, we're ahead of schedule. Now it's time
okay, recruiting wise, what do you think we are in terms of
production on the field?
Organization wise, just overall organization, like that includes recruiting, that includes your your assessment of the coaching staff, the players, the play on the field, like what's your perception of it?
It's an unfinished product. Whole
Okay.
body of work. I think we're unfinished product. Other parts are better than others.
Okay.
I think it's just something missing with the product on the field.
Okay. All right. Tiz, what's your thoughts?
Where do we, in the current landscape of football, the way that football is being played today, and the things that we see these, like the kids and the recruits evaluating, and then when I look at the program as far as like facilities wise, everything they're putting together, switch to Nike in June, two top 10 recruiting class, one top 20 recruiting class, possibly another top 10 recruiting class coming in. It seems to be it, and the reason I'm gonna say this is because of the results on the field. 5-win season, 6-win season. It seems to be that we are a destination spot.
Okay.
Because there's no way that you can get, I don't think that you can get that type of recruiting. I mean, a lot of people point to NIL, but like you have to give kids more than NIL. There are a lot of rich schools in the that don't recruit like the way we recruit right now.
Very true. Very true.
So when I look at that, like I think Auburn is at the top, near the very top in the country. I think we're like 150 yards away from Oregon. If that makes sense.
Okay.
You added 150 yards onto our season last year. We win a couple more games, and we're how people look at Oregon. With a switch to Nike on the horizon, Auburn has become a cool place to go. Right? Even if these kids don't come here to play, when they come on campus, they all enjoy their visit and their time. All right. And man, like that, the only thing that's missing is the play on the field. Like
that's what I'm saying. We had a schedule.
Literally, yeah. It's literally just like that. If we put the wins together and all of a sudden we may be more than Oregon. Because we play in the South, play in the conference. We have a schedule that sets up very well for us. And when I say that, doesn't matter what our schedule looks like. If we come out on top of our schedule, we will be near the top in the country or in the playoff at a playoff team, just because our schedule is always going to be tough, right? So we can always play our way in the playoffs, no matter what happens. So man, it's just I got to put us at the top. I don't see another school that I can say that can go 5-7 and have a top 10 recruit class.
Okay.
I can't name, maybe Oregon, because it's just such a cool place to be. They got field night. They got a bunch of uniforms. You may be able to get kids like that. You see what I'm saying? Like it's a lot of appeal outside of.
That's the reason why I said. That's the reason why I said we're ahead of schedule, because it's just like outside of the play on the field, man. It's kind of hard to say that Auburn ain't hot right now.
Yeah, I think it's the place to be. I think it's just like Mark said. Once you put it on the field, then we really go to the next level. But right now, we just like I said, we're 150 yards away from Oregon.
That's good. I like that analogy. 150 yards away from Oregon. I like that. Which makes me think, because talking about this, talking this out. I'm to be honest with you, I'm actually kind of more optimistic than y'all are. To be honest with you, I actually think Auburn probably, for the reasons that you mentioned, the word destination was not what I was going to use. I was going to use it. I was going to use Auburn is probably the it spot, because the thing is, when you hear a lot of guys that come into Auburn, recruits, they always talk about how much fun they have when they get to Auburn. They always talk about it. But what I've always figured is, and part of me when I thought about it was like, when they talk about how much fun they have, but there's still a air of I want to win.
Right.
But the thing is, we don't see that right now. We see it as a fun spot. You know, it's like having that boss that's like super cool with no structure.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like you can do anything you want to, but when it comes time for evaluations, everybody's evaluations ain't all that. That's
Right.
kind of what it feels like a little bit.
Like you're never moving up.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? You either kind of just where you at, you know what I'm saying? But it's so much potential there to where when you be like, man, if they can just add some structure to it, oh, this thing could, you know, it could rocket ship.
Can you answer this question for me, Nick? What's in the juice at the Sky Bar, bro? What's going on? What they didn't change the menu at the Sky Bar or something, bro? Because it's jumping at the Sky Bar now or something.
I don't know what you're talking about. What are you talking about?
You said there's a lot to do in Auburn, man. I'm just saying, what's up with the nightlife at Auburn, man?
Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Man, listen, bro. Listen. I think that word fun might mean some other stuff as well too.
Okay. Okay.
The thing about Auburn,
I'm talking about the fun. I know. I'm sorry.
The thing about Auburn though is it's not too fast, not too slow. Like when people get there, they like it's a slow enough place for parents to be like, I would feel comfortable with my kids going here. But it's a fast enough place for kids to be like, no, I can have some fun and go here.
Exactly.
So it's like the perfect balance.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. I see why when people visit there on visits and stuff, like they fall in love with the place. Like it's just
you see the police everywhere, and you see.
And the thing about it, and the thing about it is, it's like it's what an hour and some change away from Atlanta, so you can shoot up to Atlanta real quick. You know, if you want to have fun for a weekend, shoot up there, shoot back. You know, you can make it a day trip if you want to, or something like that. If you want to go to Nashville, Nashville is what 3.5, 4 hours away, if I'm not mistaken, something like that. You know, so it's a cool spot. But the thing is, you got to win on the field. You know what I'm saying? Got to win on the field.
Got to win on the field.
Got to win on the field. But I mean, so I'm with y'all. Like I'm in this era of college football where we are. This new era. I mean, of course, they have the House ruling that's coming out. Well, it's came out, and they're actually tabling it until next week. that whole thing is a whole thing in itself. That deserves its own show. But when you look at like how Auburn is positioning itself in this landscape of college football, when you mentioned facilities, it's a brand new facility, probably one of the top facilities in the country. I would say probably top 10 in the country. Got to be top 7 in the country facility wise. When you look at the educational part, a lot of people say, you know, an Auburn degree is one of the, like, if you have an Auburn degree, I mean, that means something. You know, it means something. And then, of course, you know, looking at it from the fact of the matter is, now that we get into this NIL part, the money side of it, you know what I'm saying? Exactly. When this word alignment, when people talk about when there's alignment, it seems as if there is no shortage of the coffers are not bare. They're just overflowing. You know, that's what it seems like, and it feels that way. But the thing is, it all comes back to the one word of winning. You know what it is. That's what it just comes back to.
And then it's one that you forgot to mention that's very important, though.
Okay.
Fan base.
Yeah.
Where are you going to find a fan base like this?
That is true. That is very true.
Right. How many fan bases survive a 5-win season?
That's a great question.
And show up.
Now I ask you this. If it happens again this year, do you think the fan base survives if it happens again this year?
Yeah. I mean, because if it happens again this year, we'll be getting a new coach, and everybody will get excited about whatever name they pick, and we'll start it all over again. But like, this fan base, man, it's incredible. So like,
I feel you on that.
It's one of those places, man.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. It is, the fan base is probably what draws people the most, because you like the story that I heard. Like I don't know if anybody else heard about the story, but and I don't know. I'm trying to figure out the logistics of it. But apparently, KD played basketball last year for Auburn. He ended up going with George Mason.
George Mason. Yeah.
I
He
believe
still got Auburn everywhere.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And then of course, like apparently there was some Auburn fans in the stands of a game that he was playing. And they spoke to him like, "Hey, KD, how you doing, man? War Eagle." He just went up there and started speaking to him and hugging him like he still go to school there. Like it's just like it's more of like that Southern hospitality type thing that people want to talk about a lot. However you feel about that, but it just feels as if like people just like, yeah, it's a fan base that is like very rowdy about his football team and his sports, but still though, they kind of have like there's a sense to them that make them be like, yeah, it's still sports. You know, it's still a game.
And once you're part of it, like once you're part of it, you part of it.
Yeah.
Life, like they don't. Man, I love Auburn fans, bro. I like it.
Great, man. Greatest fans on earth, man.
And we're rational.
Yeah, I will agree with you there. A very rational bunch of people. Even though some people will say we not. But you know, it is what it is. But I think we all can agree on here right now that we all think that Auburn is ahead of schedule or near the top of where we think they could be in this landscape of college football. Do we all agree on that?
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
I just think on the field production, we just unfinished product yet.
I agree. I feel you on that. I feel like this year is going to change that. Now, the year after that, we'll see what happens. But I think I've been on record as saying this year, I feel like this is a 10-win team this year. And I think Auburn wins 10 games. So
I think I also think that there's a lot of coaches that wish they would have took this job. Like looking at win coaches from the Brian Harsin hire till now, looking at what the program was then to where they're going now, I think it's a lot of coaches that's looking like, man, I probably should have took that Auburn job. Brad Venables.
But the thing about it is, bringing that up before we go into halftime, the thing about it is, I don't think it was not a place he didn't want to go. It was just the fact of he kind of felt who would he be working for.
Yeah, he didn't think he would have control.
Basically, you know, kind of the same Kirby Smart situation that happened with Kirby Smart. But you know, that's a discussion. But we're gonna focus on the positive. Man. All right, ladies and gentlemen, man, we're gonna head to halftime right now, man. We'll be right back after these messages. Let's go.
You don't out your seats. It's halftime.
Do you want to feel like a star? Then go to Hollywood Media, and you'll be shining. From sports interviews, athletic highlight tapes, athletic photography, Hollywood Media will make you the star of all stars. Feel like a star on the most important days of your life, from college graduation to saying I do to your forever person. Let Hollywood Media make your event star-studded. Subscribe and follow on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube at Hollywood_media. And follow on Facebook at Hollywood Media with 2 A's. Hollywood. Yo, shout out to I got DJ, man. Day one supporter of the Water Cooler podcast, man. You want to athlete? You want your athletic highlight tapes done. You want your photos done. You have a wedding. College graduation is getting ready to come up in the next couple of weeks, and you want to get those pictures done. Shout out to I got DJ, man. Follow him on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube at Hollywood_media, and then follow him on Facebook at Hollywood Media with 2 A's as well, man. Make sure you mess with the people that mess with the Water Cooler Talk podcast, man. And as always, thank you with us here around the Water Cooler, man. Let's get to the comments, man, because we got a lot of comments that came in, and we got to get to the second question of this show in the second half, man. Huggy Beard disagree with us, man. Huggy Beard said, man, used to be is the best name I can give the space Auburn occupies right now. Man, Huggy, how much of that is just because you don't like Hugh Freeze? Let me know. Let me know, because I got a feeling that's probably the reason why. Jay Flower said, never mind, man. With my boy Marcus, I just need to see what will they do. I know what they can do. Yeah. Yeah, we all know what they can do. It's about what they will do, and I think they will be great on the field this year, in my personal opinion. Dan, what up, Dan? How you feeling, Dan? Said I think we hit a harsh and time warp a few years ago and wound up 10 years behind where we should be. Now we're trying to catch up. Need more warp speed, Scotty. Beat me up, baby. All right, then. I like it, man. That's what I'm talking about. Jay Flowers said harsh and time warp killed us. Our best wide receiver was Jay Fair. If we win a national championship, a natty, we're still behind as far as numbers. We will just be catching up a little faster if we win one in the next 3 years. What y'all think about that?
He's speaking from a dynasty standpoint, so I can see.
Yeah.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
He's speaking from a dynasty standpoint.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's exactly what he's speaking from, and from like what Auburn could be as a dynasty. Yeah, that's perfect. Shout out to King Richard, man. What's up, King? How you feeling, man? How you feeling? Connie says there's a reason when they come, they stay. Even our ex-coaches stay and build a big house on the lake.
Oh man, Auburn is a great retirement area.
Oh, man, I'm telling you.
That's what it is. Word, gotta win big on the field. Yes, we do. King Richard said this has to be the Auburn ascends, because if they don't, we will fall behind again and they will have to hit the reset button again. This is why it's important that we all kind of gather around Coach Hugh Freeze, because if he fails, then the program fails, and then it's just going to make it that much harder for the next guy to come in and bring it back to where we all know where it should be and think it should be. So all we got to be behind Coach Hugh Freeze, man. We got to. We need him. We need him to have a great season, man. We need him to succeed. James Barnett, man. Shout out to our guy James Barnett. He said, I think we are on the verge of the 12-team playoff. You've been listening to me, James. The talent is better than what most realize. I think we have closed the gap in the SEC significantly. Maybe even top 5, in just my opinion. I like that. I've been on record saying I think Auburn will host a playoff game at Jordan-Hare Stadium this year. I think Auburn will do that. I think they will. I think Auburn. I think a 10-win Auburn team with 2 losses, and I think when they get to the end of the year, Auburn's 10-2, and I think that's enough for Auburn to host a playoff game at Auburn. Just saying. I'm a rock with it. Seahawks said, man, winning gives you a short memory for sure. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Connie says, I'm ordering my ticket. So yeah, the fan base is
winning a national championship. I'm at like we ain't never lost in my lifetime. So especially Georgia and Bama in the same year. Hey,
I feel you. Yeah, Jay Flowers when he said Auburn is surrounded by urban cities. That's why they welcome anyone. Yeah. You literally like an hour and some change away from Atlanta. I'll be in Atlanta every other weekend. Don't forget, Freeze asked for his 3rd season. We complain about the seasons. He said was gonna be trash. The complaining part is not it, especially when you look at the talent that was on the roster and then you see what happened on the field compared to what with some questionable stuff, with some questionable management stuff. So you would be like, if that changed, Auburn could have been an 8-9 win team last year.
But I will say, Nick, Jay is kind of right, because it's not that season he said that we were gonna be trash. How we looked is exactly what he said. Like the problems that he said that we would have are exactly how we looked on the field.
Okay.
Both years. Yeah, so that's why it's so encouraging to hear him talk positively about the quarterbacks now, because he told us they was trash.
He told us they were trash. Got to start throwing the ball to somebody else. The talent on this team should be able to make up for the poor play calling that happened in the past. This is where I'm coming from. From. The talent that he's got now should be able to make up for that. I feel that Jackson Arnold will hit that man that is open, or will tuck it and run if needed. Or if Jackson Arnold is not accurate enough, I feel as if you have receivers that have a very wide catch ratings that can go get it from anywhere.
That part.
So I mean, he doesn't have to be as accurate, because you have guys that are just as that who are athletic, and their catch ratings is just ridiculous to where they can just get the ball if it's thrown in their area.
And they getting separation from the DBs too.
That too.
Yeah.
Our best. Oh, shout out to our guy B Sharp. What up, Sharp? What up,
So
Sharp?
This guy.
Make sure y'all go subscribe over to the Sharpshooters podcast, man. Make sure y'all go subscribe over there, man. They on the road to 800 subscribers, man. Make sure y'all go subscribe.
Nice.
Auburn Dad said, man, proof is in the pudding. So well, it'll be tasty or tastes like crap. I like it. Huggy Beard said, man, nah, AU was heading in the wrong direction before Hugh Freeze and his face showed up. It took me. Shout out to the legend of Sweet Sugar Bear Woods, because he gonna tell you how he feel. He gonna tell you how he really feel, man. Shout out to him, man. Don't get it twisted. I want Hugh Freeze to prove me wrong more than anybody. Yeah, me too. I feel you on that. Jay Flower said 10-2, Nick. Who we lose to? Yeah, I think we lose to Oklahoma on the road, and I think we get a fluke loss to Arkansas on the road. That's just what I feel. I just from looking at the way the schedule set up, that's just how I'm seeing it. We lose to Oklahoma on the road, and then we come back and beat Texas A&M at home. Then we get a bye week, and I think we beat Georgia at home. And then I think we lose to Arkansas in a fluke game. I just don't like Auburn. I never like it when Auburn plays at Arkansas. Never like it. I never like it. But hey, it is what it is. We all want Hugh Freeze. And back to that, DC brought up a point last week where he said that Hugh Freeze said that if we play that game 9 more times, Auburn will beat Arkansas 9 more times. So I'm pretty sure that that's probably gonna be some bulletin board material for them as well to kind of see if they can prove him wrong. Yeah, we all want Coach Hugh Freeze. We need him to prove us wrong.
Right.
Jay Flower said we wanted a freshman Cam Coleman to be DK as soon as he showed up. Well,
hey, listen. I don't know. I think he could have been.
I feel you. If Jeremiah Smith did it, and if we sitting here saying that Jeremiah Smith was probably the best wide receiver in the country, and we sit here but who was ranked higher in that class? Was it Smith or Coleman? I think it was
Jeremiah Smith was
ranked higher, right? He was number 1, right?
Yeah.
I think Cam Coleman was number 3. Number 3, number 4 in the country or something like that. I mean, that's saying a lot.
Yeah.
But I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying, Jay. Terrence Spradley said, man, what's up, man? It's time to be at that Bulldogs. What? What's up? It's time to be at Bulldogs. Be at the Bulldogs. Oh, okay. I get. Okay, never mind. I read that. My eyes kind of messed up on me. Deuce still ain't had a turnover. His development gonna be wild. Yeah, they saying Deuce balling out in what's his name? He hasn't had a turnover yet. Being smart with the football, man. Jason Arnold isn't losing to Oklahoma. We 11-1. All right. I hope you're right. Yeah, I hope you're right. Hell no, Jason Arnold gonna be up for that OU game. All right. Just saying. Okay. All right. Hey, you want all the smoke tonight? Earlier, I had to dip out on the up tempo because I was about to cut up on some folks in the chat and probably get banned. No, don't do that, Huggy. Don't do it,
man.
Don't do it, Huggy.
Don't do it to him.
Reconsider.
Don't do it to him, Huggy. Yeah, reconsider.
They ain't ready for it.
Read some literature. All right, man. All right, so let's get to this second Infinity Stone. Let's talk about this time. All right, so the question I want to ask y'all about this, man, is the time now for Auburn football to ascend to the heights to be in that elite conversation? Reason being, I was watching Josh Pate last night, and he put out a quote. It was an interesting quote where he said people that were 25, that were born in 2005 would be 20 years old right now. And he asked the question about, do they view USC as a brand? You know what I'm saying? Do they view USC as a brand? Because he basically said it like, by the time you're 4 or 5 years old, 6 years old, 4, 5, 6 years old, you start watching and kind of understanding what you're seeing around you. So by that time, by the end of the 2000s, people didn't recognize the brand of USC kind of started falling off, but basically what they were from 2000 all the way to 2009. So I asked this question and I said, a lot of people because of the inconsistencies of Auburn football in the past 17, 18, 19 years, is it time for Auburn to ascend now to get back to where a lot of people know what Auburn was before all of this? It's that time now, or do we have to wait on that, or is there still a waiting period for us before we get back to that point? I'm gonna start with Tez. What you think, Tez?
So yeah, this been up like 2 weeks. This is just not irony. I didn't just do this. You've been watching this. This has been up 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
It says the time is now.
Yes.
Yeah,
Not
the time is
Cena.
now. Like it.
Not John Cena. Not John Cena.
Yeah,
Yes.
it is what it is. Like the time is now. Like what other? I mean, what are we waiting on?
Mm.
Right?
We got to
You
tell
know,
it.
is it ever going to get better than this? Right? What we have coming in? What we have? Former 5-star quarterback. We got receivers. You name them. You can. You know, offensive line is experience coming back. Add pieces to the offensive line that are NFL caliber pieces.
Mm-hmm.
Running back room unproven, but still young and talented. The defense talent all over the field. The program itself, everything is moving forward. Renovations to putting up a new scoreboard. Like it's like you name it. Everywhere you can point at this program is headed in the right direction. And it's like, why not? Why not now?
Mm.
All right. The schedule sets up for us to at least be a 8-win team at bare minimum. You know, why not now? Why not now? We have a quarterback with a chip on his shoulder. He wants to prove to people that he can get it done. Right.
Mm-hmm.
There's young talent behind him at quarterback that, you know, I feel like is playing his career now with a chip on his shoulder because of the Cam Newton situation, but that's another story.
It is.
I feel like that is just probably ignited a fire in this young man that he didn't have before that whole situation happened. And you look at recruiting, a lot of these guys, like okay, for example, Deuce Knight is not we were so far from landing this kid at one point. If that makes sense. Like when I say a flip to Auburn, this was a total flip to Auburn. Like, so to see a program able to do that, to land a Deuce Knight, man, the time has got to be now. Like, what else can we add? What is next year going to bring that today's not going to bring, that this year's not going to bring?
Let's go.
Right? Where are we going to get better at next year? That's you know, maybe at linebacker somewhere like that, but man, where else?
Marcus, what you think?
What you want me to say? Exactly what Ted just said. The time is now. Like, I'm tired of waiting. Like you said, the last couple seasons been since 2020, been 5 wins, 7 losses. I'm tired of it. I'm trying to get back. I'm trying to at least get back to at least 8 wins this year. The time is now for me, man. And like, we got the talent. Outside of this, we all just saying right now, the only thing we waiting to see is coach. That's the only question mark that if you go to every Auburn fan, we want to see what the coach is gonna bring this year. And if they don't bring it, man, it's like Ted said, I don't think it's gonna be very pretty in Auburn if Hugh Freeze don't at least get 8 wins this year.
So is that linear? Is that process linear to you all? So basically, let's say Auburn has a great season this year. Okay. Let's say Auburn wins 8-9 games. Let's say Auburn wins 8, 9, 10 games this year. But then the following season, Auburn, I'm gonna be more concrete. Let's say Auburn is 10-2, like I think they will be at the end of the season. But then next year, let's say Auburn only wins 8 games. And this is very hypothetical. What are your feelings about that? Because that's not a linear progression. That's not a linear progression up in what we all think it should look like. So what are your thoughts then?
If they come off a 10-win season and they lose and they win 8 games, are we saying Jackson Arnold leaves and go to the league and that's Deuce Knight's first year star?
I mean, look, if you want to throw in more variables in that, let's just say Jackson Arnold is back.
then you have a point. Then I'm kind of worried because that should be another 10-win season.
But progression is not always linear.
So I'm gonna answer that question with a question.
Okay.
And that question is simply, how do you feel right now?
About
Because the same question. We came off a 6-win season to a 5-win season. But I personally feel like this year we were a better team at almost every position. We performed better. On offense, we performed better. The defense, I think, performed better. Maybe special teams took a step back, but just like it didn't reflect it on the field in terms of it didn't reflect it on the scoreboards, rather in terms of the schedule. But like, I think you would say that this team was a better team this year than last year, despite the record. So that's why I asked, like, how do you feel right now?
No. Here's where I'm at. Like, to answer your question, yes, I do feel like last year's team was at least an 8-win team.
All right.
I do feel that way. I feel like, and the reason why I'm sticking to my 10-win prediction is because I feel like this roster, even though young in some spots, I think talent overcomes experience a little bit, because sometimes I think talent does kind of play out sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes. But I do feel as if talent-wise, this roster is a 10-win team. I feel that. I do feel that way.
Right.
But as I stated, progress is not always linear. It's not. It's the fact of the matter is we expect the team to continue to go this way. We expect that. I mean, when you look at Hugh Freeze's years at Ole Miss, yes, he won 7, 8, 9, 10 games. He increased by 1 game per year, and then he dropped off to 5 in his last year. So in that progression right there, that looks linear. But then if he would have stayed and continued, that last year he dropped off, now he would have had to build that back up. We don't know what that would have looked like. And even if you look at his time at Liberty, 8 wins, 10 wins, 8-8. So the reason why I'm saying is, like, the time is now. Like, we talk about where this, what we want to see, and things, stuff like that. But the thing is, and I'm just keep saying, it's not a linear trajectory all the way to getting to that era to where we are consistently winning 10, 11 games a year. We may win 10 this year, then we may drop back down to 7 or 8. Then we may jump up to 8 or 9 the next year. Then we may jump up to 10, and we may jump back down to 8 or 9. And then that may be the point to where we are actually at that point to where we're study being considered to be a 10, 11 win team after that. So I'm just saying, like, if that were to happen, what will your feelings be like at that time as an Auburn fan? And is this time considered to be the time now, based off of the fact that we have been in what we consider this purgatory of losing for the past 4 or 5 years?
I probably would. I don't know. It would give me a feeling of more of the same.
Okay.
But when you say the time is now, when we're talking about time for us to start winning, or are we talking about this season being 10, 11 wins?
It's okay. Let me liken it to Clemson. Okay. Let me liken it to Clemson. So Clemson started out. They lost a lot of close games. They had a very good season. They had like a little down. They had like a little down year. Then they had the 2 years of Deshaun Watson where they were back in the championship game back to back. Then they kind of had like a little lull a little bit. Then they kind of came back up, and then they just kind of just leveled off to where you can almost kind of just pencil in Clemson as a 9-10 win team every year. So that's what I'm saying when I say, is this the time now? Like, are we looking at the time now to where we're about to go through that progression of changing from being what we consider to be a middle of the pack type team to a team that's perennially where you could just pencil in Auburn 10 wins? Are we getting ready to get to that point? I should have said, I should have made it a lot more clear when I said it.
So when you say like Clemson, like, because Clemson had like a 4-year run with Deshaun Watson and Trevor Lawrence.
Sort of, kind of. That's like, but before that, Clemson was kind of up and down, and
Up and
then
down. I know, like with Tevin Watkins
and then his junior
Ty
year,
Ford,
that's when it. Then his junior year is when it flatlined out to where you was like, all right, Clemson, we can pencil in Clemson as a 9-10 win team every year, or 10-11 win team every year. Where are we at that beginning stage now as an Auburn team, Auburn fan base of saying we're about to take that next step to where even if we win so many games this year, even if we get to 10-2 this year, and then next year we drop off a little bit, and then we may jump back up, but then drop off again, but then we get to that point to where we just leveling off. Are we at that start point? Are we at that beginning genesis of this becoming that?
Yeah, I can say that. I'd say that because I don't think that realistically, honestly, 10 wins would be a very good season. Like we would be overperforming. I mean, do I want to see us as an 7-8 win team? No. But at the same time, not only are we getting better, a lot of the other teams in the SEC are getting better.
Mm-hmm.
And if you give it, we also live in a landscape where I think, and this is what I think is going to happen. I think that a 9-3 team is going to make the playoffs next year.
Okay.
I really do. I think that if you have a 9-3 team this year that's on the cusp, like Alabama was this previous year, I don't see them valuing after how the playoffs played out. I don't see the committee valuing these schedules where teams didn't play anybody as much as they did this year.
Okay.
Because they've seen it. You know what I'm saying? And if you look at the history of the 14 playoff, they always correct themselves the next year or try to. And it always pisses off another fan base because it's like, oh, last year we let this team in and they underperformed. So this year we're going to cut them out. And then they end up losing. It's never a right answer. So like, I think that this is the year that if you see a 9-3 SEC team as like the fourth SEC team going in, if that's Auburn, and we're playing an exciting brand of football, we get in the playoffs, right?
Right.
And I think we're approaching the time because this playoff thing is new that, it's going to approach a time where one of these teams that get in on the cusp is going to make some noise in the playoff. And when you have a team like set up the way we play, we plan to play, hopefully airing the football out, we would be a problem for some teams in the playoffs.
Okay.
Like you play this brand of football and then you run up on Auburn and they bumming the ball down the field with these big receivers. You have to prepare for that in a week's time. And they went in your conference, so they weren't on your radar at all. Yeah, it will be a problem in the playoffs if we can sneak in there. So that's what I'm saying. Like 9-3, 8 games. It's probably what next year is going to be. But yeah, to your point, I think it's the start of, us getting it, and it's all going to happen with wins and recruiting, right?
Mm-hmm.
That blue chip ratio list is going to come out in June.
Exactly.
And it's probably going to surprise some people that like despite us having those 2 top 10 classes and that one top 20 class, we not up there with the big boys just yet.
No, we not yet.
In terms of 85-90% of your roster is former 4- or 5-star players, we're not at that level yet. So like,
I think Auburn probably what, high 60s, maybe low 70s, probably.
Yeah, somewhere in there. And until we get to that point, those are the teams that you see every year, 10, 11 wins, guaranteed. Just like, talk to an Alabama fan. They right now, as much as we say about them, they like, hey, 10 wins. And they're confident about it. And it's because, they know they got a roster stacked full of talent to do it. So, I think we're ways away from that, but it's the start of it. Yeah, for sure.
Your thoughts, Marcus?
Yeah, like I said, I would say 8 at the bare minimum for him to keep the fan base off his back. Like you said, nigga, I think 10 wins, honestly, is where I'm at with it. Because I just feel like the roster and the schedule just is set up for a 10-win season.
Mm-hmm.
But I think 8 wins alone just to keep the heat off his back this year because I I just can't settle for nothing less than 8. Because
Okay.
8 at least give me, like you said, it gives you room for progression next year. It gives you something to look forward to the following year. Like, all right, this is a step to going to the playoffs.
Okay. All right.
Mm.
So you basically you playing the safe card of just saying if we were to win 8 games, you're like, all right, next year, which would be the 2026 season, is like that's the year that we should definitely be in a playoff team. Is what you're basically saying.
Yes, it should be guaranteed the following year.
Okay. All right. So you want to see that linear progression? That's what it sounds like. You want to see a linear
because, like Ted said, if we get 9 to 10 wins this year, we play above what I have. I mean, like, what didn't you say, Ted, that we played above? What was your word, says? Quote me.
We just. I guess I can't remember what I said, bro.
Yeah, Ted said.
I don't remember the exact words, but yeah, we played above our expectations. I guess.
Above. So
Yeah.
so if we get 10 wins, we play above expectation this year. That means Hugh Freeze has went out and coached and won games that we should have lost.
Right.
So meaning we snuck in this year. Next year, the following year, I feel like
okay. All right.
The following year, I feel like we are that team solidified. Like no matter what, coaching talent, we come back with a veteran lineup. Veteran is the only thing that to me that takes a drop off is the O-line. But I think transfer pieces and some more finagling can get that up to par.
Jay Flowers got a question for y'all. He said, Teddy, Mark, what's up? Been waiting to ask. With Blockton gaining weight and Jordan Crawford turning heads, is it only depth we worried about? What y'all thinking?
What about youth at linebacker?
Yeah. In the interior, I guess it's just only depth. Because I think those are 2 studs right there. So
yeah, most definitely.
All right.
And it all plays together because, like Marcus said, youth at linebacker. If they don't play well, those linebackers going to get exposed.
Yep.
So we need those guys to play well.
Okay. All right. Huggy Bear came in with another one that I thought was interesting. He said next season we'll start the process. Basically, what we just had the conversation about. He said next season, 2026, we'll start the process of getting the culture back right. He said Auburn has to get some mental cobwebs shook off before they take the championship step.
I agree with that 100%.
All right. Okay. All right.
100%.
All right. I feel where y'all coming from, man. I feel where y'all coming from. Let's see. Huggy said, man, bruh, I just watched FSU was seeing and then fall off a cliff. Can't watch Auburn do it too. Consistency is what I'm wanting to see. But that's the thing, though. That's what I'm saying. This is what I'm talking about.
Yes, I'm there, Huggy.
This is what I'm talking about. Success and getting to that level is not a linear process. It's not a linear process, is what I'm saying. It's not like you take this step to get here, and then the next step is automatically where we're supposed to be at, to where we just gonna be penciled in as just a contender every year. It's not gonna happen. It's not. So that's the reason why I asked the question, because if you look at any other team, they've had those pitfalls to where they looked good this year. Then the next year they had a step back, and then they came back, and then they came back. Then they probably took a little bit more of a step. And then guess what? The next step they took, they just kind of flatlined at that point to where they were just a perennial team. So that's the reason why I asked the question then, like, how would you feel at that point in time if we were to win 10 games and then we took a step back? And then we took a step forward, and then maybe we took another minor step back, and then took a major step forward. And then next thing you know, we there. They saying Auburn. Oh, yeah, Auburn. Preseason top 10. Preseason top 5, Auburn. Yeah, it is what it is. That's what it is. I'm just saying. I don't think progression all the time is a linear thing. That's just what it is.
So I think most people would argue that we've already taken those steps back.
Ooh. Okay. So you saying the 6 and 7 and the 5 and 7 season under Hugh Freeze were those steps back?
Right. If you look at, think about it.
Here's a question I have before you get into it. Where was the progress though? Where was the progress before that happened?
So the progress, what I would say, the progress is previous coaching. You know, like when we talk about those, well, some of those other teams had the same coaches, but like previous coaching, you know, going from a national championship to playing in the national championship to falling off a cliff, coming back and winning the SEC championship, falling off a cliff. And like all of those things are the reason we got here, where we at now. You know what I mean? And then going through the Brian Harsin and then seeing the ups with, you know, Cadillac taking over. It felt great to be an Auburn fan during that time. The energy in the program was amazing during those 3 little games.
Okay.
You know, you get Hugh Freeze in. I mean, it was, but you get Hugh Freeze in, and then it goes up and down, and then you know it's time. Like we've been through the ups and downs. It's like we want some ups on the planes. We're ready for some ups.
I feel where you coming from. I feel where you coming from with that, but that's under multiple coaches. I guess what I'm saying. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying.
But think about if you said this about Georgia, right? And you would go back to Martin Rick's days, and you would say perennial 10-win team. You see what I'm saying? Like they're flirting.
Even Martin Rick had those little problems at the beginning, if I'm not mistaken. He had problems. You know, he had some peaks and valleys, and then he kind of he was like, "Yeah, Martin Rick is a 10-win coach."
and then Georgia figured out like, hey, we probably should get rid of him and get another coach in here. And the rest is history.
Yeah, you got a point.
Right. I think that's what we are banking on, this being the moment for Auburn. It's like we had Gus, and it was just like purgatory. And they finally said, you know what, let's get rid of Gus. He made a bad hire. Then like
coming from.
Yeah, we're waiting on that one guy to just take this over and say, hey, let's lead us to the mountaintop.
I understand where you're coming from now. I understand.
Hugh Freeze has been the closest to that when it comes to recruiting and everything he's got going on. So it's like, man, we need to start winning.
I understand where you're coming from.
Where
you coming from?
The thing I got against that comment is
here it come, ladies and gentlemen, sit in your seats and hold it, because here it come. Go ahead, Marcus.
It's the turnaround. Like for him to be put up in that upper echelon of coaches is his turnaround is taking very long.
Mm.
I'm speaking on Hugh Freeze.
I thought you were about to say something about Gus Malzahn, bro. I was about to say bye.
So how long would you think the turnaround should be, though? Realistically,
in college football, the turnaround don't take that long.
With the transfer, with the transfer portal. I agree with Marcus. I mean, I agree with Marcus with the installation of the transfer portal. I honestly feel as if now, if you can evaluate talent and you can evaluate what you need in your offense to make it work, there are enough guys in the portal to where you can go out and mine the portal and find guys that fit your scheme.
I don't necessarily agree with that.
I do. I understand what you're saying. Because and this is the reason why I say that, because with the transfer portals, we would focus so much on the top guys in the portal.
Mm-hmm.
We focus so much on the top guys that when they name go in the portal, we focus on those guys. Where are they going? Not knowing that there are other guys that were former 4-star type guys that were in the portal that weren't playing at their schools for whatever reason it was. Maybe they didn't like the school. Maybe it was something that was told them that was promising them that didn't happen. But the thing is, now they're in the portal, and now that skill set, if you look in the portal and you actually put some time into it and evaluate the talent in there and see how it fits your scheme, I honestly feel as if you can find people in the portal to help you turn around a team in a year. Honestly, I wholeheartedly believe it. But I feel as if
a new regime. I don't know.
I do. I feel that. And the reason why I feel that is because we just focus too much on the main guys. That's all it is.
I'm just trying to think of some examples of that being done. Porter's been around for a while, and we should have
Nick Saban turned around and fairly fast at Alabama. Gus turned around fairly fast in Auburn. Georgia, Kirby Smart turned around fairly fast in Georgia. Like, it only took him 2 years.
So Nick Saban, agree, he did turn it around, but like I'd say it took him 2 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's fair to say. It's taking Hugh Freeze 3. That's not that far of a difference. Georgia, the cupboard wasn't bare. That was a 10-win team.
Since you saying it took him 3, it's not guaranteed he turned it around. We're being optimistic right now.
True. Yeah, we're saying that if he does.
First before we give him that satisfaction of saying he turned the program around.
Yeah,
Recruit wise,
Georgia was not a bare cupboard. That was a good team that Kirby walked into.
Agreed.
Even Nick Saban, even that team, while Julio was the crown jewel, before that, they was a talented team.
Agree.
Clemson was a talented team when Dabo took over there.
Clemson was not a talented team.
they had talent on the roster.
I ain't gonna say Clemson was a talented team.
They weren't Trevor Lawrence talented. It wasn't like he just walked. Hugh Freeze walked into a roster that. Think about this. There were at one point
LSU
in this season.
Would you say LSU? Joe Burrow. He did not. He did not start at Ohio State, and he came to LSU, and he was the star. He became the quarterback in the Heisman Trophy. I mean, that's just one that I'm pulling out. That that just came on the top of my head when you say you're thinking of a
turnaround.
Cool turnaround.
How many down seasons was that though for LSU? It wasn't like they was where we were when Brian Harsin at the end of the Brian Harsin year. We were at an all-time low to the point that when Hugh Freeze last year, I think there was a stat that there were more people that Gus Malzahn recruited than Brian Harsin. It's almost like we took a whole gap in recruiting and just like a whole 2 years. It's like, no, we don't want no kids, right? In terms of sheer numbers, we had some talent here and there. Like some of the, I give Harsin credit. The people that he did recruit, he did recruit the right kind of kids. If that makes sense.
Yeah, he did.
He just didn't recruit a lot of them.
None. That's the quantity wasn't there. I agree with you.
When Hugh Freeze took over, he had to go and recruit 10 offensive linemen. Who does that? Who took over a team so deficient that they had to go recruit 10 high school offensive linemen?
Pete Carroll.
Okay, I give you that.
When he took over USC.
How long did that take though?
It took Pete Carroll. I mean, Pete Carroll, when he took over USC, I think he had USC in the championship game in 2 years.
Okay,
the turnaround be quick.
and that's what
Alabama wasn't that good. You give Alabama a lot of credit.
And that's without.
I'm saying they had talent on their roster.
Who you talking about? USC,
Alabama.
Oh, Alabama. Oh, okay. I get what you're saying. No, what I'm saying is, and that's without the transfer portal. But now you're looking at the transfer portal now, and you looking at it and you saying, this is more of the thing where I look at it and I'm just like, man, I feel like there's a lot of talent in the portal because there's a lot of 4-star guys that were rated 4-star guys at a lot of other schools that end up getting in the portal, and for whatever reason they don't play, and they just get lost because they're not a named guy that actually played and produced on the field,
right?
And then they just get lost in the sauce. Right. So I honestly feel as if you are actually looking for people that fit your scheme in the portal, that fit your scheme, it's not that hard. It shouldn't be that hard to go find a linebacker or a defensive lineman or a defensive back to come in and fit what you want to do in your scheme. That's because it's so many people in the portal. It's like 2,000 plus people in the portal.
So like all of the examples that we named, they didn't do this during the portal era.
Exactly. That's right. I give you
they didn't have to worry about attrition. Like when you hear players talk about, like, okay, for example, Derrick Henry said he wanted to transfer, right? At one point, but Nick Saban convinced him not to. It's also, you also have to add the fact that had he transferred, he would have had to go play at Alabama State if he wanted to play that next year at the time. He couldn't transfer and just go to Georgia and play, right? So that's like these coaches that while they didn't have to, they rebuild, they didn't have to worry about their rosters being, keeping these kids healthy. Yeah. They were able to stack talent. You can't do that anymore. So just as much as talent that we have to recruit and keep that talent now. We talking about it now. Like, hey, what happens when we win 7 games? All these kids gonna transfer. Right? So like we have to win to keep that going on, man. But I just think that, man, I don't see people just in this transfer portal era, just teams just going out and getting transfers and just turning their whole season around.
I got one.
A lot of these teams are very good teams to begin with.
I got one. Colorado.
Wow.
You think they turn their season?
Oh, wait a minute now. Let's be real. Let's be real about this. Let's be real about this, Ted. Colorado's defense was a lot better last year. That defense was a lot better. That's a good one, Marcus. Hey, Marcus, that's a good one. That's a good one. They won 9 games.
Right.
And he had an offensive line that was able to keep Shador up. He didn't take as many hits as he did his first year. Shador.
In the Big 12. In the Big 12. This is what we're going to do. I don't want to get on Colorado.
Don't do that, Ted. Don't do that.
No, you have to. Okay, you have a team that played their first season in the best year of the Pac-12 that we've seen in years.
You got a point. Yeah. They
won 3 games, and next year they come play in the Big 12 and they win more games. It's no coincidence. I'm not saying that's the only reason. They got better as a team, of course, but like, come on, man.
But even when you look, let's be real. But let's be real. When you even look at some of those games,
and then we talk about playoff teams. We trying to get to. That's what we aiming for, Colorado.
Stop it, bro. Let's shout out to Coach Prime. You know you got to do it. You got to.
Now he taking shots. Now he taking personal shots.
You got to. It's not personal. Ain't nothing personal
at all.
Ain't nothing personal about that. Ain't nothing personal.
I just play.
Excuse me. But nah, man. We do have to agree to disagree on that because I just honestly feel as if coaches really wanted to go mine the portal and find the talent, they can find somebody. They can find.
I think the best example that you could probably come up with is Lane Kiffin because that's just his whole philosophy. Right?
Yeah,
he's building his whole squad from it.
Yeah, from transfer portal. Yeah.
Outside of that, in terms of flipping rosters in the portal,
you got to give it to Coach Prime. Prime did it too. He did. You got to say.
I'm gonna say. You can't give it to Lane and you don't give it to Prime.
I give it to Prime.
You got to give Prime that one because he did.
There's some caveats on there now.
They won 5 more games. They did.
And you think transfers in the portal attributed to that?
Yeah, he rehauled his whole offensive line. Yeah. That was a whole new offensive line that he had at Colorado. That was 5 new guys.
Yeah. And the defensive line. I think they gave up like 12 less sacks than they did the previous year.
That's a lot. That's a lot for them. That's a lot. 12 less for that offensive line. That's a lot.
All right, guys.
I'm just saying, if they gave up 36 sacks the year before,
so you would be satisfied. So you would be satisfied with the season that Colorado had next year.
They did better than us. They won 9 games.
No, 9 games. You said 10, so 9 games.
Yeah, so they won. They won 9 games.
And then don't cut your pictures out there because you said a 9-win team will get in the playoffs.
That's very true. I guess what I'm saying, the only reason I'm not using Colorado as a bar for that is because there's not a lot of coaches that come in with a 5-star quarterback in their back pocket. In a 5-star cornerback in the back, but nobody takes the job and has the best receiver according to college football and the best cornerback in their back pocket and come in, right?
Okay.
He came in. Like he said, I brought my own luggage.
It wasn't Louis that first year. It wasn't Louis that first year, though. I'm just gonna be real with you.
Yeah, I mean, they still came in and they balled out.
Like Walmart brand.
Yeah. So
it was Louis man. This past year was Louis. Just be real. It was Louis this past year.
And so you think that can be done in the SEC to that level?
Yeah. I mean, because you got
a 5-game jump by going in the transfer portal.
All right. So this is I think I answer this question before we get up out of here. I answer the question just like this. If it does happen this year, Auburn will be the test case because Auburn is bringing in, if I'm not mistaken, I think Auburn is bringing in 40, either 39 or 40 new guys through the portal, if I'm not mistaken. Like portal and high school combined, I think it's like 40-some guys that Auburn's bringing in.
This is also year 3.
That's what I'm saying.
This is not year 1 and 2. So we already said that year 3 is taking too long. So
now let's be real about this. Let's be real about this. If you look at year 1 with and if we want to get technical about it, if you look at year one, that was a portal class that was brought in as well. And if you look at the first half of the year, Auburn did very well. It was the back half of the year where Auburn fell off. You know what I'm saying?
Very
And
true.
he made a bowl game. They made a bowl game. So to answer your question, yes, it can be done to where you can flip a program from being a losing program to potentially having a winning season because Auburn did it in their first year.
No, I'm not.
Was it
I'm
a
not saying
significant
winning season. I'm saying
what do you think?
5 games to 10 wins.
Okay, all right. No,
Like, that's
Auburn didn't do that. Auburn didn't do that in year one. But when you look at the trajectory that it was on, Auburn, they were on that trajectory to do it. Just don't know what happened towards the end of the season.
Or better yet, what I'm trying to say is, what was our bet that the last season from Harsin was what? It was a 6-win year. 5-win
It
year?
was
How many games we win that year?
No, I don't even know. We won 5 games.
5 games. We
It was 5
won. So we won 6 the next year. That's Hugh Freeze the next year.
Yeah.
I mean Hugh Freeze first year. And we won 5 in year 2.
Yeah.
And what we're saying that's too long. You're saying by year 2, coming off a 5-win season, that by year 2, Hugh Freeze should already have us as a 10-win team.
No, I'm saying by year 3. I've stated.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Year 3, meaning we're right on course. We're right on par for the course. I think year 3, the timing is now. Like, I don't think that we were behind schedule with that. I think.
Okay.
I don't know. I just don't think that the portal, you can just flip a roster as easy as people think. You're talking about competing for a championship. I'm not talking about.
Yeah, competing for a championship is different. Yeah, I don't think you can do that. I don't think but to be competitive, and be able to be a winning season, I think that's doable.
If you Ohio State and you add a Caleb Downs, then that's different. You already Ohio State.
I feel what you're saying. Yeah. James Barnett said the only thing about the transfer portal is that it's not sustainable. What's y'all thoughts, real quick?
Yeah, that's kind of my point to it. Yeah,
all right, I got
you. Can't do it over and over again.
Anything you think about that, Marcus?
I just think that's the nature of college football now. It's coaches gonna have to find a way to make it sustainable.
Gotcha.
And a lot of coaches are leaving their positions because they see what's coming. They see that this is going to be that's an added part of the job that you don't account for. Now you have to manage attitudes. You have to manage contracts with players. It's just a lot of stuff now that once wasn't in college football that now you have to take heed to and coach around.
Agree. It's not amateurism no more. It's just professional football. So basically, you got to deal with it like professional. You got to deal with it like a professional organization. That's dope.
I do got a question for you real quick. Do you think that like Marcus said that you're gonna have to make this the norm now with the portal? Do you think we see where because high school kids, a lot of these high school kids, we follow them, they're being recruited since 7th, 8th grade for some of these schools.
True.
Do you think we see a situation where like that recruiting is like you're recruiting for the portal in high school? Like you're recruiting for kids to go to other schools, not necessarily, of course you want to land the kids, but you're doing things so that if this kid goes to the other school, he doesn't like it, we've already laid the foundation for him to choose us if he hits the portal.
That's a big gamble. That is a very big gamble. That's a very big gamble.
Because that's the only way I can see it being sustainable. You see what I'm saying?
That's a very big gamble.
I feel like it's finna be very rare now that you see superstars or talented guys at these schools to stay until it's time for them to enter the draft. I think if you seen it in college basketball, soon as the money comes from a different school, they jump and ship.
I don't know if I fully agree with that one. I don't know if I fully agree with that. I mean, I understand. I see where you coming from with that, but I don't know if I fully agree with that one. And I got to think that one through real quick before I actually make a statement on that one because, yeah, I don't know, man.
You see with Dylan Gabriel. To me, you seen it with Dylan Gabriel. You seen it with what's his name?
You saying Dylan Gabriel when he transferred to Oregon?
Yeah. To me, why leave Oklahoma?
Well, he left Oklahoma because
they got Jackson Arnold.
Yeah. Yeah,
I think they kind of showed him the door. Actually,
they did. They kind of was like, yeah,
Yeah, but
like we got
you
this
showed
shiny new
Jackson
thing.
Arnold though in the middle of the season.
say it again.
Yeah.
Now?
I said then they showed Jackson Arnold though in the middle of the season.
Yeah, because they always looking
Yeah.
for the next best thing. So that I
Yeah.
memy to your point, yeah, I agree with you there. To
That's,
your
that's,
point,
that's my whole point.
that's
Like
we
it's,
can-
it's gonna be always the next man up now. It is.
I don't think it's the player. I don't think it's the player looking to leave. I think it's more
Yeah.
of the organization saying yeah, we want to move on from you, like kind of
Yeah.
hinting at it, like you may want to enter the portal. You know, I don't think that would be player motivated to leave unless it's just something to where the player is like, well, this was promised to me and it didn't happen.
It's gonna be a lot of situations where it goes a lot of different ways. It could be player, it could be team. It's just gonna be the nature of the game now, man.
Yeah. I think most of the players are leaving though because they don't see a path to get on the field.
True.
Yep.
And if you can't get on the field, you can't get any money anyway. So like
Yeah.
in order for you to get that NIL deal, you got to play.
Yeah, but then you also gotta get filmed because I think the bigger question is getting to the next level where the real money
That
is,
too.
the generational money.
That too.
All right, man. Let's get up out of here, man. We don't overstayed our welcome, man. We appreciate y'all so much for rocking with us here, man. Follow us on Facebook at the Water Cooler Talk Podcast. Follow us on Twitter at CoolersPod23 if you have a Twitter. Subscribe, like, share, hit the notification bell button here on YouTube so you know when we post more videos and when we go live. And then, of course, yeah, follow us on Instagram and TikTok there. And then make sure that you go over to our guy Ted's channel and follow him on his channel here at It's SE Season.
Getting better every time. Bro.
SE Season. I gotta say it.
SE season, man.
SE Season. There it is. SE Season. There it is.
SE season. Yeah.
There we go. There we go, man. Hey, man. We talked about this. The conversation kind of shifted towards, kind of a lot of college other football stores towards the end, but we talked about Auburn, as you can tell. We're talking about this Infinity Stones for Auburn, man. Tonight we talked about the space and the time stone. Tomorrow we're gonna talk about another Infinity Stone and how that equates to Auburn football and the question that we want to answer there pertaining to Auburn football, man. We're gonna get these last couple of comments in before we make this happen, man. James Barnett said, man, along with the bag, yes, sir. Every other year, you're welcome, fam. Yeah, man. Yes, sir. He said, great show. Fam Shame, shout out to you, King Richard, man. Yeah, we at 622, man. Please help us get there, man. Help us get. We're trying to ascend to the 700 subscriber mark. We are on our way there before it happens, man. And of course, man, you know what? Since we are talking about the Infinity Stones and Thanos snapped his fingers and people just evaporated. So before we get up out of here, ladies and gentlemen, we want to say goodbye and hopefully we'll see you tomorrow. Peace.